Dr. Naeema has been serving the community since she was a child. When she was 8 years of age, God whispered to her and told her she would become a psychologist. Since then, she has been well on her way, serving with excellence as she yields to the prompting of the Holy Spirit and what she knows to be the right thing. Because her vision and heart were so big, she founded Giving Hope LLC in 2015 and Giving Hope Sobeka in 2020. She's leading the companies as they build a strong foundation to serve in the Black, diverse, and underprivileged communities, victims of domestic violence and emotional abuse, children on the autism spectrum and their families, typical individuals and families, as well as empowering women to understand their worth and to walk in all that God called them to be. Tune in and see how this Black-owned business owner strives for excellence, finds and secures funding, serves the community, and overcomes challenges while continuing to speak life while shedding light on real-life situations that are heavily impacting our communities. We need your subscriptions, so please share as we go beyond our comfort by taping the ins and outs of our day. Please comment and share.
We are recording. Hey y'all, hey.
My forehead is representing. Oh, I need something on my lips, some gloss or something.
You get some gloss, we're gonna get some gloss, you're gonna get some gloss, and we're gonna edit this out. We're gonna get some gloss.
Do I? I'm all right.
I mean, I don't know.
Okay, I guess
you can get some gloss. Get some gloss so you look like you pop. Yeah, Black people need lip gloss. Just so you know, our lip gloss need to be popping. Okay? Keep the recording going, then we'll have some fun with this extra footage. Checking myself on because some people call me sometimes. Sometimes, just sometimes I get a phone call. Every once in a while.
Let's do a little bit lip oil.
But you got to put some lip gloss on. Oil, some oil. What kind of oil? Extra virgin. Like people use extra virgin. Extra virgin. She's extra virgin.
Yeah, okay,
We
yeah.
dry in it, we put it on our skin, put it in our hair,
Yeah,
we
so this is good.
exfoliate
Oh, I
with
feel
it.
like I'm pregnant.
Okay, you all right?
Yes, I think so. I hope so.
All right, so we're gonna get started.
My forehead, Lord Jesus, can't do nothing about that, but okay.
I got a big forehead too. It's
It
just
don't
me.
look like mine.
I be thinking a lot. I got a lot going on up there. I can get a great brain. That's what
Amen.
you need to be, a brain. Oh, yeah, the mic. We need a mic. Pablo, please come put her mic on. Thank you, Pablo. Pablo's coming. Speaking into existence.
Why you gotta be Pablo?
That's the only thing I care about. I did a show on Wednesday, and the man's name was Ricardo. So I don't know.
Oh, you're just keeping it? Okay.
I was keeping it Hispanic, so don't think I'm being racist because I'm not.
But you're not, because you can't. Hispanic is not a race. There's no
Okay. Thank you. Not being racist, huh? or
prejudice.
Prejudice. Yeah.
Prejudice is, yeah, it's more like it. But anyway. Hello.
So we are here, Dr. Naeema Giving Hope podcast, and I am joined by the most fabulous Miss DeQueen Monroe of Autism.
The Autism Project -FLOS for the love of Shaquan
Hello.
Inc.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
What's your website?
The Autism Project -FLOS.org.
The hyphen is a dash, in case you didn't know, not the one at the bottom, in the middle. Okay.
Right.
It's like a minus.
Not an underscore in between.
Okay. For those of you who are like me, that needs it to be broken down.
Okay.
So we are joined by Mr. Queen Monroe today, and our topic today is parents of children with autism, and that's what our discussion is about. We're going to be talking about her journey and where she is now with her lovely son that I have yet to meet.
So,
Yet to meet. And I look forward to meeting him when I do get blessed with his presence. So let's talk about your journey with Shaquan.
mm-hmm.
Tell me first and foremost, how old were you when you had your son, and what your thoughts were when you were giving birth, and what your thoughts were for your child?
Giving birth. Okay, pregnancy was not planned. I was not married. Raised better than that, but got
It
pregnant.
happens. Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
right.
Jesus was the only perfect being.
Amen, amen, amen. But I
Period.
came from a two-parent household, so I do know that it expired for me to be married and have kids. It didn't work out that way. I believe I was 22 when I gave birth to him. I had a normal pregnancy. I went in a little early. Um, I actually really wanted the world for my son, like no different from any other parent, right? I didn't do a whole lot of planning in that part of it, but like again, I wasn't planning to be a parent. It kind of happened and I went with it. Um, so Shaquan was pretty much a typical little baby. He developed beautifully until he got to a point. He started learning how to speak. He was speaking words. He would use his finger to point with the word, like "Mommy, look at that." Things like that, like developing synthesis, but not quite there yet, right? So, like right at the 2 stage, when you have to get that other shot, I didn't really realize it myself because when you're in it, it's a little bit different from other people telling me, you was fine until, and that's what recalled that to my mind. But he was a perfect little baby until he went through his regression at two, right before three, maybe 6 months before three.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So in that time, what happened for you? What did you start thinking? What were your
All right. So when it was present that he was different, not the little boy that I knew maybe 2 or 3 weeks before, he was quiet. He was nervous. He seemed to be introverted from his little personality that he had. And I knew something was wrong immediately when I recognized it. But I had the elders around me telling me, "Oh, you know how boys are," because he physically didn't have like a physical disability on his face. And in our community, I guess if you don't look like something's wrong with you, nothing should be wrong with you. Don't worry about it. You know how boys are. They slower. They take their time. And he had no behaviors. He just literally was not speaking and just really quiet and really like introverted. And then as time went on, he started picking up little behaviors and stuff like that. But that was like later, like 7, 8, like that. But when he was like 2.5, 3, when I seen the things was something wasn't right. He did go to Blythedale though. He did go to Blythedale Children's Hospital, and they misdiagnosed him.
Let me ask you, did he ever, after he got his immunization, did you notice anything 24 hours after the immunization, 48 hours after the immunization?
Mm-mm. It was more like maybe a week and a half. So I didn't connect it to the immunization. I didn't connect it to that at all. I just noticed that he was one way at one point, and
So
then
no fever. Did they give him more than one immunization at a time?
no, I think he just had that MMR, that 3-in-1 that time.
So okay.
Mm-hmm. He didn't have any sickness like that I remember. He did have a high fever, but that's when he was like 11 and a half months, not quite 1 years old.
Okay.
And this happened much later than that. But he was like nervous, like a nervousness about him. I remember I went to go bathe him, and he kind of like let his bowels out, like had like little diarrhea, but he was like nervous, and that was different about him. He wasn't introverted. He was like a little, how little kids are, they independent, they don't really want you to help them with stuff. They got it. They, what I'm saying? He was like that, and he went from that to just being quiet and just nothing, like he was mute. Mm-hmm.
So when did you first get him evaluated?
I think he was like 3.5 when he first went to Blythedale, and they took him through their little series of, I guess, their type of an evaluation. they would try to see if he had eye contact, and it was like half and half. But he had interest in it, he would make eye contact. If he had no interest, he would pay you no mind.
Okay.
They went through the hearing portion thinking maybe something was hearing. Nope. When he wanted to focus, he would focus. If it was some candy 5 miles away, oh, boom, Batman radar, he could hear it. You know what I'm saying? But if it was something that you wanted his attention to get his attention to, he would just not pay you any mind.
Okay. How long did the evaluation process take?
He had an appointment. It was all on the same day. Maybe I say an hour.
Okay. And what did they diagnose him with?
Multiply disabled.
What did that mean?
Exactly. That one and the other health impairment, there's no way to really, how do you, if I'm a professional and I work in the field, what do I do with that diagnosis? Like, I don't know. But at the time, I had no clue. I was clueless, people. I had no clue.
Okay. So then what prompted you, when did he get the diagnosis of autism?
He was 9.
Okay. So from 3 to 9, what happened in between?
And see, this is what was so crazy because I took him to a children's hospital that specializes in children with difficulties, challenges, and disabilities, and they misdiagnosed him. So a few things. He went to Fred Keller, which is like a special school for kids with challenges with speech and things like that, intellectual disability. That was at like 3.5, 4. And then from there, he went right into BOCES. But each time he would get any type of evaluation, no one else said autism until he went back to WIHD later on. He was like 9 years old. And that's when they said, yep, it is autism. He had autism and intellectual disabilities. But the autism was profoundly more than, it was like as he got older, on paper, he got worse. Because at 3.5, it was like, most of you disabled. And then I think I heard at one time, autism PONS, the one that's like the high functioning one, because it's like he doesn't really have enough.
Not otherwise specified.
Right, not enough, but it wasn't classic autism then. It wasn't until later. Now you're 9, 10, you're still not talking. Now you have behaviors with it. You know what I'm saying? So that's what happened. And Shaquan just never really got the support he needed.
Right.
Never really.
Right. Okay. So at 9, when he got the diagnosis, then what happened?
Not a whole lot different. So you have to understand to my mindset, and this is what kind of made me start the non-for-profit. So for a long time, my mindset is the way a lot of parents out there. It's like, okay, you're going through this, you really don't know what to do. Okay, now that I have this diagnosis, I have the other diagnosis. It's like, what's different? How do I go about getting services I don't even know that I need to get for my child? Right? Like, where is the place that you go that tells you, okay, you have a child with a disability, with a diagnosis, these are the things that you need to be doing. I was actually that parent, if I could have gotten the guidance, that would have helped me and Shaquan out. But I just was clueless. My family didn't know much more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Autism is something that we didn't really, what we used to seeing is a handicap that's a disability at birth. Right? Or not. Autism is in the middle. Because at birth, he was fine.
Right.
5 months, 6 months, 1, all that, fine.
Unless it was like a major accident, like a car accident or something.
That leaves you handicapped disability. Right. But that's what you used to see kids in wheelchairs or the child that, the old term mentally retarded intellectual disability. But autism, the way it plays out. So for the most part, the average parent knows in utero if the child has a disability for the most part. And it's the other way around for me. That was a different experience for me.
So from 3.5 to 9, what was your support system like?
It was just me and my family knew. They knew I had a lot of struggles. I went through a lot of things. They were always supportive because they loved Shaquan to pieces. Anyway, even though he's exhibiting different things, and they always gave me support because they knew it was just me and Shaquan. You see me, she Shaquan. Who can get his name out? We'd be over in the room somewhere. If we go to a family function, if Shaquan would start acting up, I would go into the next room with him, and then we would just be in the next room.
So what would that look like? He would start acting up. When would he normally act up? And then what would your behavior be before you got him diagnosed?
Before and after, actually. A lot of what you said before, if someone would speak to him, I would speak for him. Like I would anticipate certain things. If he physically would do something or behavior I thought was not appropriate, I would physically stop him, remove him, and then we would go wherever we would go, and then we just be just me and him. But that's basically it.
Uh,
Hmm.
Did he ever have tantrums?
Not really, no.
Oh, you're blessed.
No seizures, no tantrums. I mean, not where it's like a meltdown type thing. He might cry if I took something from him. If he wants to go somewhere and I didn't take him. Nope, that's not true. He might have had one on Fordham Road in the Bronx. He was trying to tell me something, and I did not know what. Actually, I didn't even notice that he was trying to tell me something. I think it was something that he wanted. I didn't know what he wanted because when you're a mom and you have a child with special needs and it's autism, you are scanning everything all the time.
Okay.
Not just what your child is looking at and what they may want. You kind of making sure, okay, you see people watching you, they're watching your kid, you're trying to make sure, it's safe or whatever the case may be. We're just scanning the whole perimeter and your child at the same time, trying to make sure that they're with you. And it's just like you're like all over the place, trying to, as far as where you're trying to pay attention to and focus. So your focus is just not on your child and what they may want. Anyway, he acted out. I tore his butt up. I tore his butt up and he stopped. But looking back, it was him trying to, like, I guess, tell me something. I didn't get it. And so he was like, look, I'm trying to talk. You ain't paying attention. I'm going to go crazy. You know what I'm saying? But for like a normal, like, breakdown, just get in the middle of the floor. And nah, he never did that.
Do you know, looking back at that moment, what he was trying to tell you?
Not really. I think it might have been a story passed by, and he's I don't want to say stereotypical, but he likes trains and cars, and he might have just saw a toy, and
Separates on certain things.
so you if he's out Fordham Road has everything out there. You know what I'm saying? You have to really be focusing on. If I'm like if they was like, okay, if it would have been me, Shaquan, and maybe if I had a husband or me and Shaquan and someone that was there for him, I could focus on what he's focusing on. But because it was me and him, we moving about, I got to get him what he got to get for school, whatever the case may be. I don't even know what I was on for him that day. And he's focusing on certain things. And I'm just all looking like, okay, we got to go here, we got to go there. Hope this boy don't act crazy. You know what I'm saying?
For you guys
it's crazy.
who don't know about New York City, Fordham Road is a place in the Bronx, and it's very busy. It's a place where we go to shop.
Yes.
It's a lot of people. Where there's a lot of people that's shopping, you have to be on your P's and Q's because it's a lot of people that know you're shopping, and they're looking. There are other people that are looking to prey on people who are vulnerable in situations like she's in, so they can steal from them. Okay, so keep going.
It's very busy, and on top of that, there's street vendors. So there's the stores, people going in and out of stores, and there's street vendors that selling ices, batteries, all types of stuff, toys for the kids, face masks not at that time, but they are now. So I was really like going with the flow. I had no clue. Like advocacy, nope, never heard of it, didn't know it. Make sure you get X, Y, and Z. Make sure you get his 5 times this and that. Didn't know, didn't have a clue.
When did you, in those moments when you were scanning, did you ever feel insecure about being a mother with a child with special needs?
Yep. Yes, definitely.
When did those feelings ever go away?
Not really. Not really. No.
Okay. So how do you combat those feelings?
Good question, Doc. Good question.
So
Good
that's
question.
One thing we have to work on.
No, at the time, when his disability showed his face until now it's a lot lower if I have to give it a number, but it was on 10 for the longest time because your kid is completely presenting differently, acting out differently, and they're just completely different. So they haven't reached a lot of the milestones, social cues, awareness, the whole nine. So you kind of feel, how you, I don't even got the word, but that's how you feel. Now that he's an adult, he still has not reached a lot of those marks. And now I know better. I know better. I can talk to myself, but the feelings are still there. Yes.
Okay. How would it be for you if you were to just put yourself in a bubble when you're with your son? It's just you and him. Everything else is cast out. For all of you parents, this is what I usually work with parents who have children,
Mm-hmm.
especially the younger children who we're working on getting rid of those temper tantrums.
Mm-hmm.
And they're having these temper tantrums in the middle of the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
So it draws a crowd.
Yep.
And the crowds are wondering, what are you doing with this child?
Mm-hmm.
Do me a favor. You gotta block all of them out.
You do. You
Forget
do.
everybody
You do.
that's there. Because at the end of the day, especially if you have black and brown skin,
Mm-hmm.
you really want your child, and your child is a boy, you are putting your child out into society. You're grooming your child. You're grooming your child and teaching them how to behave,
Mm-hmm.
and you need to set the tone for them. Don't worry about what these people are thinking about you. Easier said than done, but what is good is when a clinician can go with you into the community
Mm-hmm.
and coach you through it.
Right. That isn't even offered that much today, so you know it definitely wasn't. I know that's a good jewels that we have to offer, but it definitely wasn't offered when he was coming up. But you're right, you have to block them out. And I have met other parents that are great at doing that. They can just zero in, and I'm almost not quite over the hump. But now it's all about, I talk to Shaquan constantly. I talk, and he gets me actually to be nonverbal, and I catch it. Like, this boy got me just pointing it. No, I got to talk to him, even if he's. And I had to teach a lot of the people around me in my circle that was with him. Listen, he's the one that's nonverbal. You're not, so you continue to talk, even if you don't hear him talking back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You just look at him to get his facial cues and make sure that he's paying attention. Well, but you still talking, because he don't objectify him. He's not a thing. You don't talk over him or around him. He's what?
Does he read?
You know what? That is so interesting. You said because yes, he has major challenges. Yes, he's way down low on academics, but
That's what we think.
he knows. You're right. That's what we think. I'll put it to you this way.
That's what they think. Actually, I haven't met him yet.
He's not reading like he should be reading, but he has an excellent memory. He knows words. He can type in the computer whatever it is that he wants to see, that he knows how to spell. If he don't, he is smart enough to fish for it. Like, he'll see this picture. If he knows, okay, I seen this picture, he just keeps going until he kind of finds what he's looking for. So numbers and words and letters, he has been taught. It's just so many things when you look back on it. Shaquan was exploding, I think, as far as academically for him at about, I think, maybe 9, 10. And he kind of, in that school setting that he was in, he kind of have, when I want to say, mastered that level. And I advocated, I was like, listen, you got to change his classroom setting. Being a typical mom and not knowing, you got to really spell out every single thing that you need for your child. Okay, at this level, Shaquan is mastered. I need you to move him to another classroom that's the next level, and that he's taking, if he knows how his 2+2s, take him to the 4+4s. They didn't do that. They moved him from that classroom to a classroom that they were doing almost nothing, and he regressed. And a lot of the learned stuff that he learned, he just, because with them, if they're not doing it constantly, they forget anyway. So when I took him to get evaluated after that, because I really always wanted Shaquan to be evaluated on multiple levels.
Yeah.
So even though he may be very receptive here because he's a visual learner, this is where he's lacking. If he got this support, it will bring him still on the spectrum, but it will bring him to another level. And he's always been in that situation where he's thinking, he's right, but he's nonverbal. So you read him on paper, you think, oh. And then when they see him, they be like, oh, okay, but wait. You have to get to know him. All that time wasted each time a situation changes, the new professional got to read him on paper and then see him and then be like, oh, you know what? It's annoying. So that's why I'm so excited about our project and what we really want to offer the community, and really zero in on each individual's gifts. Absolutely. And their skills and where they may need more support to kind of get to the next hump. Because even I'm that mom. My son is 29, be 20 No, 20, will be 30. See, special needs. It will be 30 July 23rd. Um, and I know if he got the right type of an evaluation, he could be in a job setting
Absolutely.
competitively.
Absolutely.
He does go and do jobs, but they're not competitive. He's not getting paid for it like that. So that's one of the things our kids, especially kids of color, don't have the opportunity to get, especially if they don't have the money. If the parent doesn't have the money to throw to the professional to do all these extra things.
So the project that she's talking about is we have developed something at Giving Hope, and she has developed the 21 Club, and we are partnering together. So Giving Hope is doing the whole life, and she's focused on the older population, and we are assessing every child's on the spectrum in every area of development.
Mm-hmm.
And it's called the Sobeka approach. Um, and we are progress monitoring every person with our clients with autism. We're coaching the parent in the home. We're providing services in our center. We're providing job readiness, ADL skills. We're assessing each person where they are,
Mm-hmm.
and creating a treatment plan where they are and taking them to where they need to be and helping them to reach their full potential while continuously providing assessments, and progress monitoring, and recrafting their treatment plans. So if you are a parent who has a child on the spectrum, please visit, what's your website?
The Autism Project hyphen, or no, not hyphen, dash FLOS, the one that goes like this, not the slash and not the underscore, the straight line.
Okay.
.org.
.org. And then also givinghope.llc.org. We do want you to donate money, so please hit the donate tab, because we do need funding for the parents who are unable to fund their children, and the parent. We offer parent training as well. We're getting up and running. We have everything developed and we're rolling it out. Um, and I'm looking forward to working with this young man, Mr. Shaquan.
He's a hot mess, but yes, he will try to flirt and get out of it. He'll smile and show his pearly whites, but yeah, he could use more support. And our adults need more support after special ed, after the IEP is no more.
Life does not stop
It
after high
doesn't.
school.
It does, and it
So
shouldn't stop for our young adults either on the spectrum and with other related disorders.
what would you say to a young mother who has a child who suspects that their child has autism?
So what I tell them is, all right, first you want to get your mind right, because that can really stop you from doing what you should be doing for your child. And you want to get you a person that's going to help you, especially when you're in these meetings and you're kind of feeling inferior and being talked down to. So first, you want to get your mind right.
What does that mean? Get your mind right.
Okay, I'm about to say you want to get your mind right. So you want to get out of thinking, oh, I could just ignore it, or thinking it's a stigma, so I definitely don't want to deal with it. It's going to get worse and it's not going anywhere. So you have to be like, this is my child, and right now my child needs me to get in line and advocate for them. My child needs me to go to the door, turn it, and walk through and be like, this is what my kid needs. So you have to get yourself to a point. You might need help to get there. That's what I was saying. Like, seek out professionals that can help you, especially if you feel like you don't have the words or you can't articulate what it is that you need for your child when it's in advocating in these meetings with these so-called professionals with all of these letters and numbers behind their name and stuff like that. You don't need to feel intimidated by that. You're the professional when it comes to your child. You know them in a way that only a mom knows them, and you're a very important person of the whole team.
Right.
So you want to get yourself, you want to empower yourself. And I don't care where education level is. I really don't care nothing about that. You are the mom. You love your child. So you want to get yourself in that, change your mind, your way of thinking, and think this is what I have to do for my child. That's the first thing. That's the most important thing. If you get that down, then you won't be afraid to be like, listen, I have a child that has whatever they have, and I need help here. And then people, more you talk, you'll connect and you'll find those people. I didn't have a clue To be honest with you. And I didn't have my mind right for like a good 10, 12 years. I was just kind of like hoping and praying it would go away. I took care of him the best that I could, but that was not helping, you know, where he had issues and problems. It just escalated, got worse, and got big and got older. So you want to get yourself together, get yourself the support you need, so you can do what you have to do for your child.
What happens if they come across a professional that um, can be condescending or
Mm.
slightly condescending, and they do feel inferior? What do you say to that
You are
parent?
gonna run into that often. These so-called professionals out here. Okay, you will run into that. You cannot let that stop you. That is just one professional, and you go on to the next professional. That's all. Just keep it moving. Don't stop there. Don't let what their words tell you make you stop doing what you need to do for your child. 'Cause that's just one doctor. That's just one whoever psychologist, whatever. You can get another one.
Yes, and what I would say to that is speak to their supervisor,
Oh
ask for
yeah.
their supervisor's email address, put it in writing. I was speaking to such and such, and this was their reply, and
Mhm.
this is how it made me feel. So I'm coming to
Mhm.
you to see if you can offer me a little bit more advice. I'm wondering if there's some more feedback that you can give me as a mother who is maybe lost in the process
Mhm.
and something of the sort. And if that person doesn't help you, they have someone that oversees them. Okay, always put everything in writing because that's your paper trail. Okay.
What you'll find also is I took Shaquan to a so-called specialized um it was a speech doctor, but she was you'll find that the supporting professionals are better than the actual doctor a lot of the times. I took my son out to Queens to this doctor and she evaluated him, but it was like they have a person in mind already. They just think autism, and these are the professionals now. They think autism, and they think they know what their makeup is. And it was asking my son all the stuff that's language based, and my son's nonverbal,
Mm-hmm.
so he was not scoring no type of way. The lady who was studying to be a doctor, she was much more receptive to how Shaquan understood,
Mm-hmm.
and she was a lot better to deal with than her. So
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna run into all kinds of people out there, and you just take what you need. But like Dr. Naeema said, don't let the negative professional stop you, and then let them know. Speak to their superior, find out if their superior can help, but let the superior know that this person is not doing a great job either, and just move on to the next.
Yep. So get your mind right. What else?
Get your mind right. Support system.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. You asked me the hard questions. Get your mind right. Have a support system in place to help you, because with that you can do anything. And just never stop. Never give up on your child. If you have an envision of what you would like to see, they may be able to master it all. Maybe they can do some of it. But if you don't believe in the process, they won't get none of it done. So get your mind right. Get a support system and never stop.
So
The three.
where can you get a support system from? Where
It
do
could
you?
be so for some people it's different for everybody. Some people can be, church, their spiritual background helps them, gives them a foundation, and when they come through hard times, they can always go back to. For other people, it may be professionals that they seek out that can help them navigate through. You have to probably examine your own background and think, what is it for you? But get the support that you need, definitely, because you're going to need it.
In terms of support, I will also add therapy for yourself.
Yes, counseling. Yep.
Therapy for yourself. Having a child is a lot of work. It's packed into the soul.
Yes, and you have to take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of you, then you can't be there to advocate and do what you need to do for them.
Mhm.
So that's very true.
Yeah, and on top of that, a child with autism, you run across these feelings of what did I do wrong? What could I have
Yes,
done
the guilt.
wrong?
Got to shake that off too,
Mhm.
because it is what it is. Now that you know what it is, you just want to move from that point forward. So yeah.
Yeah. And what do you say about those family members that look at you like you did something wrong, or like in Black families, they tell you you did something
Mm.
wrong? So what do you say about those family members? What would you suggest they do in those instances? or with those people?
Well, I could speak to myself a little bit too. In our culture and black folks, 9 times out of 10, the people who are telling you that don't even know what they're talking about. They don't have a clue.
Right.
So that's part of our problem culturally. One of the issues is that they guide you in the wrong way. For me, it was like, oh, he's a boy, don't pay that no mind. And I was very reluctant to get him, even though I knew he had an issue. I knew there was a problem, and I was kind of seeking it out, but I wasn't seeking it out. I wasn't really being empowered and really finding out. Listen, this is what I'm seeing. That these are the problems. Where can I go? It was someone else that was like, what, take him to get evaluated, and that's why I took him. Other than that, I wouldn't have even probably did nothing. You know what I'm saying? So 9 times out of 10, they don't know what they're talking about anyway. So you can't take that on. It's enough. We already feel bad and guilty
Right.
that our kid is not doing what everybody else's kid is doing. So you just can't let that influence you at all.
What do
So
you,
what you actually do
yeah.
though? Because see, I didn't do it, so I really can't.
So hindsight 2020, what would you have done differently?
I'm thinking about myself in a situation I was in. I guess the lady that told me to get Shaquan evaluated, she worked at that hospital. But see, that wasn't even a good avenue for me. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to my threes. Get your mind right, seek out support, and then you just think about your education and what you know. So look for other professionals, look for counselors, things like that to help you along the journey. The problem is when you're not from that background, you don't know where to start. And I kind of stumbled across it much later. Shaquan was like 14, 15 when I started getting some concrete help. He was that old. That whole time I walked that road with Shaquan by myself. I was just day in and day out doing what I had to do. It was a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of sleepless days because he really wasn't sleeping. So the good thing about now though is the awareness is heightened. So it's out in the community. So you'll see call this number. There is places that you can call. You can call hospitals. There's information out there. Back then there was no information. I had no idea. So do your research. You got to empower yourself some type of way. Do your research. You get out there and look and find.
Right. Well, thank you. Do you have anything else to add for our audience? Anything that we left out?
Do not tolerate anyone disrespecting your child that's so-called your friend. Don't let them talk down to your child. Don't let nobody disrespect you or your child. Just keep yourself around, people that are positive and your support system.
We did not mention
And
this.
pray if you pray because you're gonna need that. Yes.
Fathers.
Oh.
So what I come across in the Black and Brown community is fathers, they want the world for their sons. Autism allegedly happens mostly with boys, right? And what men generally want is they want to, play sports with their sons. They have all these dreams of their kid going to the NFL. As soon as they find out that they have a son, that their woman is pregnant with a son, they start to envision these things. And then when they find out that their son has special needs, it's a big blow, and they well, typically, like it's really big that father absence is big in the Black and Brown communities overall.
Period.
But
right.
with autism, it's a big blow. So, what do you say to these fathers?
I know part of the problem is fathers, if they can't fix it, they out. But they leave that on the mom, and you're leaving your child out there. Your child needs you so much more. You just cannot leave them out there like that. What do I say to the fathers? That's a whole nother thing. They gotta get their mind right too. But I don't. Throughout this whole journey, me being a mom, and I don't think I'd be any different if I was a male as opposed to a female, but I would not do anything that would take me out my son's life because I knew I had to be there to advocate, just to be there for him, to have his back. Who would speak for him if I'm not there? So you leave your son in the worst possible condition. Your child, if you have a son or a daughter, but especially if you have a son, they're going to get bigger, they're going to get older. And what I've come to find out as well, even though I'm going around, I'm going to try to answer your question. Give me a second. Fathers who are part time and half time and just pop up, or worse, even worse. You either need to be there or not. Because as these boys get bigger and older, I know one particular case, a father tried to come in and help because he was being abusive. He beat the father up too. So you fathers our kids ain't stupid. You got to be real and really be there for them throughout. Or you just can't pop up later on in life thinking, oh, now I'm the dad. You really cannot leave your kids out there like that. Your son needs you so much more on the spectrum. He needs that example so much more. I can tell you my son, since he was like maybe about 10 or 11, they crave that male energy. They want to be with the boys and they don't want to be with their mother all day, every day, all the time. They want to be able to be more independent and be with the males. But if you're not there, they are never going to know how to do it. And this is what, this is an individual that has even more. You just can't. I don't know.
Means. There is not just social media. There is not just
physically there
and showing on their tablet.
There is being present there
through the routine.
Yes, your child needs you to show them, like, okay, for this is just an example. Just showing them how to be out in the community. They're going to mirror you. So if you're not there to show them, then what? Just walking down the street, okay, you be on this side because it's a lot. It is a lot, but yeah, you're leaving that child out there all by themselves because a mom can only do but so much. A mom can't teach them how to be a man.
Right.
I ain't got the words, so I gotta meditate on this and get back to you. Okay. But you definitely, and I'm that type of a person. I'm not leaving my kids nowhere.
Right.
Nope, never. So,
right.
You mean that's why I commend fathers. I commend great fathers, period. But my males that I've come across, male fathers that are in their child's life that is on a spectrum, no matter high, mid, or low functioning, they're there. I commend them even more because it's not an easy job. It's not.
It's not an easy job, and honestly, you really shouldn't be commended because it's what you're supposed to do anyway. But we thank you.
Yes.
There really should be more men stepping up to the plate because it takes two people to have a child.
Yes.
So this idea of men walking away from your child because the woman has the child is really disturbing. I'm stop there. Keep going.
Bitch out.
So this has been Autism, Dr. Naeema, Giving Hope with Miss the Queen Monroe. We thank you so much. We've been talking about autism, a mother raising a child with autism, and some of the things that she has experienced. She has another question that she has to ponder on, and we'll have her back later on. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. We do want you to visit www.givinghopellc.org and make sure you donate so we can get some services to families who do not have the funds or means to give their children the supports. Make sure you visit
the Autism Project -FLOS.org, founder and parent. So I know exactly what you're going through, parents.
We love you. We thank you. We appreciate you. God bless you.
God bless. Bye.